Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the stream. It's a late night for me. Might not be a late night for you, but I am typically in bed about an hour and a half ago. We watched an episode of Succession. We're 2 episodes behind. So we're probably going to kind of catch up with the season tomorrow. And I figured, why not? I'm not tired. Why not hop on here, shoot the shit a little bit with you guys before I go to bed. I'm going to be on here for an hour, so I'm going to be on here till midnight 30, 12:30. So there is no topic of discussion tonight. Whatever the hell you guys want to talk about. Life, Star Wars, whatever. I'm an open book. I'm sitting here with a beer, a big-ass Nalgene of water, and the baby monitor. So I can make sure my daughter, who is 5 years old, doesn't fall out of bed. She has been rolling out of bed a lot lately, so my job tonight, while I do this live stream, is to keep one eye on the screen and one eye on this, I guess, baby monitor. And if I hear a big kaplunk, or if I see her roll out of bed, I got to run in there real quick and pause this thing. But welcome one and all. Good to see everybody. Let's just hang out. Let's do a low-key little live stream. Let's have some fun, man. So Swishfish, thank you so much for this first super chat and channel support of this stream. I greatly appreciate that. Swish says, gonna play some Minecraft before bed and hang out too. Cheers, I appreciate that. Hope you're doing well, Swish. You know, my experience with Minecraft is, I feel like if I was a little younger, I would have been obsessed with it. I feel like I would have been absolutely obsessed with it. But it came out, what year did it come out? You guys tell me. I could Google it, but I'm laying back in this chair right now with my microphone stand at my mouth. And I don't feel like leaning forward and typing on my keyboard. But I feel like it's one of those things where I was a little too old to get on, like, ride the wave of Minecraft. But I love the idea of it. You know, I've played it a couple times here and there. It came with my Xbox One S. I maybe played a couple hours of it. I did hop on a Minecraft server that some folks on my Discord server made. And it was really cool. A HelloGreedo Minecraft server. Which I dabbled in for a couple hours with those guys. But my experience with that game is really not all that plentiful. Full release in 2010, 2011, so sometime around then. Okay, so I would have been in the Navy at the time. Wasn't really playing very many games, and if I did play games, what would it have been? I don't even know what it would have been. Company of Heroes? Maybe? The Old Republic? I don't know. What would I have been playing then? I don't know. Yeah, but it's one of those things. I feel like if I was like a teenager or if I was younger than that and Minecraft came out, dude, I would have been all over it. Because when it comes to video games, like, I love building aspects within video games. Like Ultima Online, my first MMO. It came out in like 97. I started playing it in 98. I loved building my own house in this game. And then you can jump to like Rust or Fallout 76. Any game that has a building mechanic, I am all over. I love building my own home in these games. I love like putting my own stamp on the game world, you know. So I feel like if I was a little younger when Minecraft came out, it would have been my jam, you know. But anyway, cheers, Swish. I appreciate that. And enjoy some Minecraft while you listen to this dumbass talk about anything and everything under the sun. Cheers. Josh, I know I need to. I know I need to watch the miniseries. I know I do. I know. I did watch Caravan of Courage while I was doing laundry. I had it on. But yeah. Jacob Lundbeck, thank you so much for the super chat and channel support as well this evening. Jacob says, hey, Greedo, hope you will be able to enjoy Jedi Survivor soon. Yeah, me too. It's a big bummer, Jacob. You know, every time I try to launch the game, when I get past the loading screen, it crashes every single time. I don't even see the menus. It's like right when the menus are supposed to load in, I'm assuming, it crashes. I get a big error, and yeah, I've tried everything. I've tried to my drivers are up to date. You know, uninstall, reinstall. But so I'm just kind of waiting. Now, granted, my system is pretty old, but I thought it would be able to handle it. You know, it's 8 years old, and until this point, I've really never had any issues playing any modern games. And I can't even say that I've had any issues with Survivor because I haven't even been able to play it. There's just an immediate crash as soon as the game menus are supposed to load, you know. So I'm just, you know, I don't really have much time to devote to the game, so I'm really not all that bummed out, just because I I mean, I would love to be able to play it. I probably would have beaten it by now. But yeah, me and a bunch of other people with the same graphics card as me. I have an R9 390, which came out in 2015. I was just kind of expecting the game to like struggle a little bit and chug a little bit, which I would have been fine with. But to just have it outright crash right before the menu, you know, it's kind of a bummer. But I was actually looking at PC components today, and I've been building my own PCs since I was since I was a teenager. Really, with my dad. My dad knows how to build PCs. He taught me how to build PCs basically, and I've always built my own. But lately, I've been kind of looking at pre-made stuff. Because it's pretty comparable. Yeah, back in the day, it used to be way cheaper to build your own rig. These days, it seems pretty comparable to buy a pre-built PC. So I might end up doing that in a couple years. Not anytime soon. Money's a little tight. Well, my wife's in between jobs right now. I'm working some overtime. So like, there's not a budget for a new PC, and there's more important stuff to spend our money on than me wanting to play a video game. So it doesn't bother me, priorities. But yeah. Anyway, cheers, Jacob. I appreciate that. Hopefully sooner rather than later. Yeah. Anyway, I appreciate that. Nice, Michael. What's up, man? My 14-year-old beat it already on PS5. Hell yeah. I didn't even realize that it wasn't available. See, I have an Xbox One S, so I have the previous generation. I didn't realize that Survivor wasn't going to be available on that, because I probably would have picked it up on that. But I didn't realize it until the game released on the 28th. I was like, oh shit, I can't even play it on the Xbox that I have? Oh, bummer. So I'm just shit out of luck right now. But it's all good. It's all good. Oscar Rodriguez, good to see you, man. Cheers. Oscar says, ever thought of doing more Inside Star Wars shorts? Not just for the movies, but for the Disney Plus shows and games as well. Yes, the Inside Star Wars stuff. To tell you the truth, man, that's some of my favorite stuff I've ever made. Not because I necessarily like what I said or anything like that, because I was hamming it up. I was being like an angry video game nerd type dude. It was over the top. But the reason I love those videos so much is because they were so much fun to make. Those Inside Star Wars videos were like almost just a green screen learning curve for me. Like learning how to do effects and stuff like that. You know what I mean? So it was a fun creative, those videos were a fun creative project for me to undertake. And I miss doing that kind of stuff. So yeah, the Inside Star Wars stuff is always in the back of my head. It's always there. Like the type of, goofy nonsense that I used to make, I would love to get back into that. Now, the idea that's always been there in the back of my brain has been, Inside Star Wars, the holiday special. I think that doing something like that would be super fun and funny, and goofy. So I think if I did reboot the Inside Star Wars series, I would start with the holiday special. I have a couple ideas actually written down in a notebook, because I used to write a lot of ideas down in notebooks. I haven't done that in a long time. But I do have some goofy Inside Star Wars, the holiday special ideas written down. So yeah, if I ever did reboot that, that's the one that I would start with. But yeah, man. And then maybe some of the Disney Plus shows. I have no idea how copyright would work with that kind of stuff nowadays. You know what happened with my Inside Star Wars The Force Awakens video. I had it up for maybe 24 hours and then it got taken down. Only a select few people saw that. I actually uploaded it on my Patreon like a couple months ago because I found the MP4 file. I was like, oh my god, I haven't thought about this in ages. I'm gonna upload it on Patreon. Nobody's ever seen this thing. But yeah. Anyway, I appreciate that, Oscar. Cheers. Benjamin B and Mando Mac. If everybody could do me a huge favor and say welcome to the fleet, Mac, I would greatly appreciate that. Mr. Mac, thank you so much for the channel support. Thank you for becoming a member of the fleet. That's what I call the channel supporters. Those who do join on a monthly basis. They're members of the fleet. You get a special role in the HelloGreedo Discord server. And you get a fancy little icon next to your name. But Mando Mac, thank you so much. Welcome to the fleet, man. Cheers. I appreciate it. Benjamin B, thank you so much for the channel support. Benjamin B says, hold on, let me take a quick sip. Benjamin B says, if you haven't checked it out yet, I bet you'd really dig the Dr. Aphra audiobook. Full cast, sound effects, and music. Well worth your time. I have not. The idea of Dr. Aphra as a character has always been cool to me. I really like the concept of that character. Now, granted, I've never read anything that Aphra's been in. I'm not much of a comic book reader, so that kind of like blew by my ears. You know, I just didn't pay attention. I don't really read comics. And what's funny, Ben, is I've tried. So I fully admit that the Star Wars audiobook experience is unlike any other. It's so in-depth, so polished, so intriguing. But for whatever reason, I've never been able to get into Star Wars audiobooks. I don't know. I love reading the books, but for whatever reason, like, it goes deeper than just Star Wars, though. Like, so Ben, when it comes to audiobooks, I don't really like to listen to fiction audiobooks. The only audiobooks I ever listen to are nonfiction, like science books or history books. When it comes to fiction, I don't know why, but there's like a mental block there. I like to have my Kindle or my book, and I like to sit and read the fiction. It's weird. I don't know if anybody else out there is like that, but I don't know. There's some mental block there. But does Dr. Aphra appear in any novel? I don't know. Does she? And maybe let me look it up real quick. Dr. Aphra audiobook. Amazon, Dr. Aphra. The audiobook is free with a free trial for Audible. 5 hours and 35 minutes. That would be about 6 commutes. Actually 3 commutes to work, because it's about an hour drive to work every day. and I drive it twice a day, or twice in a 24-hour period. So maybe that's pretty doable. There's also a Kindle version. She has her own audiobook, but other than that, it's strictly comics. Okay. So what I'm looking at is 307 pages of comics? Interesting. Yeah, I wish I could get into comics, man. I really wish I could. It's a shame. You know, I've read a handful. I have a little collection of old, like really old 1970s and 80s Star Wars comics, but other than that, I've never really gotten into them. I don't know. Anyway, I appreciate that, Ben. Cheers, man. Maybe that's one that I'll pick up with a free Audible trial. I've never had an Audible trial. My wife has. She used to subscribe to it, but... Yeah, maybe I'll give it a shot. You doing? After is only either comics or audiobooks, as far as I know. Gotcha. Yeah, the idea of the character. Oh, one sec.
Wanting Cal to make an appearance in LA or get his own D+ show. Seen people from both sides make some good points on why it should or shouldn't happen.
Ricky, good to see you, man. Thank you so much for the channel support this evening. Give me one sec. Yeah, like I said, Ben, I love the idea of the character a rogue archaeologist. But beyond that, I don't know too much about the character. And I've never read anything that the character's been in. But the general idea of the character seems like something different, you know. And I'm into different. But anyway, I appreciate that, man. Oscar Rodriguez, the Dark Lord Revan, and Ricky, thank you guys so much for the channel support this evening. Oscar says, hypothetically, what would you say to Palpatine in Star Wars Episode 9? What would I say to him? Like if I'm in the movie? I got a smart mouth. Golly, I really don't know. If I'm a character in the movie as me, oh my god, I don't know. I say that I would be tough guy. I say that I'd be like, oh yeah, big tough, scary monster man. No, as soon as he shot lightning out of his fingers, I'd probably piss my pants. Yeah. I don't know. What, like, I would try, I don't know. I have, my thing is, I like to de-escalate. So inside Star Wars. Sorry, I misread that. I'll do it both, but I like to de-escalate situations. Had to do it multiple times in my life. I'm sure everybody has. You either instigate or de-escalate, right? I'm a firm believer in de-escalation. With my job, you know, sometimes you have to de-escalate. So maybe, I mean, there's no talking sense into the monster man, right? But in my brain, I always try to de-escalate before things turn nasty. De-escalate. Too many people think they're Superman, and and ramp things up and get all macho and ego driven, and it's stupid. De-escalation is paramount from experience, and I would probably try to de-escalate things with Palpatine as he's sitting there on his crane, but it wouldn't work, and he would just fry me with his lightning bolts. Anyway, inside Star Wars, that's I don't know. That's a really good question. I should do that, right? Oh, I don't know. I'd have to watch that scene and see what he says and bounce what I say off of what he says, if that makes sense. You kind of, I would write my script based off of what he says. And I barely remember what he's. I've only seen that movie twice. I'm sure I would have some smart-ass comments about, like, the laziness of him being back and how it's a stupid idea and all that stuff. No, back to the grave with you. Yeah, something along that lines. You were dead. Oh, cool, buddy. You're back. You back. You want to do the same thing you already did. Oh, cool, buddy. Oh, big old tough guy. Oh, big old tough guy lightning fingers. I'm sure I could have some. I would have fun with it for sure. You might have just planted an idea in my brain, Oscar. HelloGreedo talks to Palpatine in episode 9. In fact, I'm going to create a Google Doc titled just that. HG talks to Palp. Boom. Created. There you go. All right. It is officially. Oh, one sec.
Building the UCSA wing. What other SW ship would you like to see get made into a UCS set that would make you buy it? Hope you and the family are doing well.
Mando Mac, thank you so much once again for the super chat and channel support this evening. The channel support. Give me one sec. I got Darth Lord Revan, Ricky, Spooderman, Jared, and Mando Mac. Thanks, guys. I'm long-winded. It's the evening, and you know, I'm always long-winded. But when we're chasing midnight here on the East Coast, North Florida, I'm even more long-winded. So I apologize, or maybe you guys like it. I don't know. Dark Lord Revan, thank you so much for the channel support. Revan says, I can't do audiobooks. Too much of a visual person with an auditory disability. Oh, interesting. I guess I never thought about that. An auditory disability. I don't have I don't have an auditory disability, but I really can't do audiobooks either. It's weird. There's something nice and relaxing, calming, and stimulating about reading fiction and not having it read to me. I fully admit that what I've heard of the Star Wars audiobooks, I listened to a little bit of Lost Stars, a couple other modern ones as well. And I fully admit they're amazing. I mean, they're so well done. But me personally, when it comes to fiction and audiobooks, they just do not shake hands in my brain. I've listened to like every Carl Sagan audiobook ever released. You know, I'll listen to science books. I'll listen to biographies. Oh, one sec. Cheers, St. Jake, Mrs. St. Jake. I don't know if you can hear it on the microphone screen there. I'm cheersing a little can of something. But I appreciate that, man. Give me 1 second. Yeah, I will listen to biographies, history books, science books. I love nonfiction audiobooks. And in some instances, I prefer it because sometimes the narrator, the person reading the nonfiction audiobook, it's almost like a teacher. I have trouble retaining information when it comes to, I guess, that kind of stuff, like nonfiction. Me and retaining information, it's kind of, that's why for tests and stuff like that, I have to study probably twice or three times as much as the next person, because my retention of information is horrible when it comes to that kind of stuff. So maybe it's like somebody telling me this information gets into my brain a little better. But when it comes to fiction, I have to read it. I don't know why. I do not know why. But I appreciate that, Mr. Revan. Cheers, man. And Ricky, thank you so much as well. Ricky Dicky Duda Grimes says, what's your opinion on people wanting Cal to make an appearance in LA or get his own Disney Plus show? Seen people... LA as in Los Angeles? Is that what you mean? Or his Disney Plus show. Seen people from both sides make some good points on why it should or shouldn't happen. Man, interesting. I hadn't really thought of it. The split second instant pop into my brain is, it's not something that I necessarily need, because the character's story is being told in a medium that is so long and extensive, and I'm completely fine with, like, stories being told in games that are not being told in shows or movies. I'm completely fine with, stories being told in books, characters popping up in books that never pop up in shows or movies. I'm completely fine with the separation of these mediums. And for Cal to just be video game based, maybe occasionally in a novel or something like that, I'm fine with that. It would be cool to, I guess, have him appear, and I'm sure the actor would love it. It would be cool to have him appear in a Disney Plus show or something like that, but it's not necessarily something that I'd be butting at the bits for. His story is thoroughly being told in these video games. It's going to continue to be told. And if it's solely if his story, that character, is solely going to be told in video game form, well, that's satisfying enough for me, Now, if he did pop up, of course, I'd be excited and watch it. But at the moment, it just seems kind of unnecessary when we have Cal in tens of hours of video game content. I mean, video games these days, like, you look at video games like a Fallen Order or a Survivor or Last of Us, or these games oftentimes rival the intensity and the depth of TV shows. You look at something like those games compared to, I don't know, Mario and the NES. Like, the level of depth and meaning and drama, it does rival some of the best storytelling in movies and television, so I don't know. I don't even know what my answer is, Ricky. I don't know. It'd be cool, but I don't need it. That's my answer. But I appreciate that, man. I hope you're doing well on this. What is it? Monday? What is it? No, it's Tuesday. Tuesday evening, 11:58 p.m. Almost midnight. We're going to chime the bells when the clock strikes midnight. I haven't done these. I haven't done an evening live stream this late in a very long time. But yeah, cheers, man. Spooderman24, thank you so much for the channel support this evening as well. Spooderman says, "What up, Greedo? Love your positivity in regards to Star Wars. What do you think about Rey's movie and the future of Star Wars? Are you streaming Jedi?" Well, first of all, thank you so much for the kind words there. You know, I don't know. It's you say positivity. I just tend to ignore the things that I don't like. I mean, obviously they come up, but I don't. So modern Star Wars and Star Wars of the past, it's kind of similar for me. Like, in the past, there were Star Wars that I didn't like, and there's Star Wars that I did like. And it's the same is true for today. You know, today there's Star Wars that I don't like, and there's Star Wars that I do like. So, like, you know, I mean, that's... What are you going to do? You're going to bitch and moan about every single thing under the sun 24/7 on your YouTube channel so you can make ad revenue? Well, that's fucking lame. That's lame, in my opinion. That's just constantly bitching and moaning and playing victim all the time. I don't give a shit how big you are. I just see you as kind of a it's dumb shit. It's dumb shit. It pays the bills for a lot of people, but it's dumb shit. If I made a living doing that constantly, I'd feel so embarrassed as a man. You know what I mean? But that's just me. So yeah, positivity. It's not necessarily, I wouldn't call it positivity. It's just like, hey man, let's like what we like. Let's dislike what we dislike. And let's leave it at that. Like, I don't know. But yeah, so Spooter, the Rey movie, I'm excited for it. I like the character of Rey. I preferred her when she was a nobody from nowhere. I thought that was way more interesting than her being a Palpatine. But there's also the interesting, like, found family aspect of The Rise of Skywalker. I'm not a fan of The Rise of Skywalker. It's one of my least favorite movies. But, you know, with everything you dislike, there are going to be minute aspects of it that you do enjoy. And the thing that I do enjoy about Rey and The Rise of Skywalker is that found family, rejecting her lineage, you know. But that being said, I do still prefer her being a nobody from nowhere. I find that way more interesting. I'm excited for it. I'm excited for, I mean, as it's been described as like the new Jedi Order, right? I think Rey is... You look at the type of person you would want to lead, and I guess you could call it an organization like that. Rey, for me, fits the bill. Somebody who doesn't seem dogmatic at all. Somebody who doesn't seem to adhere to a rigid set of ideals. Somebody who is highly empathetic. You would want somebody like that to lead your congregation of Jedi. Right? I mean, that's who I would want. Somebody like that to lead this group of space monks, right? I mean, what else do you want? Some Drax-looking guy with a big-ass sword and a hood because he's a fucking badass? No, you want somebody with a little hash-head mysticism. You want somebody who's empathetic. That's me. That's, you know, that's the way I look at Jedi. So yeah, I'm excited for it. I don't know what it's really going to be. Who knows? But like, from the standpoint of the character of Rey, I think she is kind of the person that you would want to be led by. You know, she seems like, yeah, there's empathy. There's a solid head on her shoulders. But yeah, you know, that's just me. Am I streaming Jedi right now? Survivor? No, unfortunately. It's not working on my computer. Now, my computer is old. It's 8 years old, and this is the first time. I kind of future-proofed it. At the time, I built my PC in 2018. I take 2015. 2015. I built like top of the line at the time, 2015, 8 years ago. But I thought I would at least be able to launch it. I can't even launch the game. I just get a crash error every single time I try to launch it. I've tried everything, so right now I'm just kind of waiting for a patch. It is what it is, you know. It doesn't really bother me all that much because at the moment I don't have a lot of time to devote to the game. I'd love to play it, but yeah, like I said, at the moment, I'd be lucky to play an hour a week, you know. But yeah. Anyway, Spooter, I appreciate that, man. Hope you're doing well. I hope you're still here. I apologize, everybody. I'm super long-winded, and for whatever reason, as the night gets later, I'm even more long-winded. Jared, Mando Mac, Mr. St. Jake, and Alex Dunn, and Benjamin B. I appreciate it, guys. Jared says, do not play Survivor on PC with a gamepad. Controls are finicky with them. That port plays much better with a mouse and keyboard. Good to know, man. Jared, so it's weird, like, I always prefer a mouse and keyboard. Always. If I'm on my PC and I'm playing a video game, I always prefer mouse and keyboard. I always feel like I have much better precision, quickness, everything. I feel like I'm you know, that's the way I've been playing for my entire life. I'm a PC gamer. But when I play third-person games like Survivor or Fallen Order, I do prefer a controller. Where that doesn't come into play is when I am playing a game like that involves like guns and stuff like that. Like if I was going to play Last of Us on the PC, I would want a mouse and keyboard because the shooting mechanics with even third person with a mouse and keyboard is so much more precise, so much more up my alley, so much more what I'm used to than a controller. But if you're hacking and slashing like Fallen Order or Survivor, you know, I prefer a controller. But I'm going to keep that in mind, Jared. I'm curious. Like, I can't even launch the goddamn game. So, gamepad versus mouse and keyboard is kind of least of my worries at the moment. But I appreciate that that heads up. I don't know what I'm going to try it on first. I'll probably try it on the controller, honestly. And if I run into the issues that you've seemed to run into, I will have no hesitation switching over to mouse and keyboard. I played all of Fallen Order with a controller. That's just, again, that's, you know, my whole spiel about third-person games and stuff like that. But yeah. Anyway, I appreciate that, Jared. Cheers, man. Yeah, hopefully I'll be able to play it soon. We'll see. Like I said at the top of this stream, I've been looking at PC components. I've always built my own PCs for my entire life. I've built my own computers. But it seemed, because it used to be so much cheaper to build your own, but these days, like, pre-built PCs are comparable to like building your own price wise. So I might just, in a couple of years, money's tight. I don't want to. We got a 5-year-old daughter. We got a mortgage. We got, things to do. So building a new PC is like the lowest on the list of things that we need. I'm thinking a couple years out, 2-3 years, before I build a new rig. When I do, I'm going to do what I did back in 2015. I'm going to like balls to the wall, future-proof this thing. And because, man, my computer right now, I have an i7, I have an R9 390, I have 6 gigs of DDR4, I have a couple solid-state drive. So this computer is the best computer I've ever built. Not because of it's the newest thing I've ever built. Not because of that, but because it has never had a hiccup. It's weird. All the computers I've built in the past, after a couple years, they start to chug, they start to slow down, they start to get really finicky. There's weird things that happen with them that, that only the roundabout workarounds with how to make them work. But this computer has never had any issues. And it's strange to me because I always had issues in the past. So this thing is a workhorse, man. This thing has served me well over the past 8 years. And whenever I do get a new PC, what I'm going to do with this one, I'm going to wipe it. And I'm going to give it to my daughter. I'm just going to like kind of put it in her room. And make a little workstation for her. Because, I'm a firm believer that a kid, she's only 5 years old. But like in a couple years when I build a new PC, maybe she's 7 or 8. She should have access. Hiding technology away from a kid. Obviously you don't hand her a tablet at dinner. But, giving her access to a computer that she kind of has free reign over, it can, ignite some passions. It can, teach her things. The world's only getting more technologically driven. So, hiding her away from that, I think is foolish, to do to a kid. But anyway, what were we talking about? But I appreciate that, Mr. Jared. Mando Mac, Mr. St. Jake, Alex Dunn, and Benjamin B. Thank you guys so much. Mando Mac says, one sec. Let me take a quick sip of the old water. I swish, absolutely. I've without a doubt thought of that. There will be safeguards for sure. And the thing about, I say safeguards, kids are smart. No matter what a parent does, kids will be smarter than their parents. Workarounds, figuring things out. So yeah, kids are always fucking smarter than their parents. Always. Always. My daughter's already smarter than me, and she's 5 years old, man. And that's the way it should be. That's the way of the world, right? Everybody always shits on the new generation, and I've never understood it. I've never understood it. The people shitting on the new generation, well, their parents shit on them, and their parents shit on them, and their parents shit on it, just forever and ever, ever. No, this new generation, blah 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 blah. Ah, shut up, shut up. Yeah. But anyway. All right, Mando Mac. Cheers, man. Max says, I saw your video on the building of the Ultimate Collector Series. Is that what it stands for? Ultimate Collector Series? I think so. A-Wing. What other Star Wars ship would you like to see get made into an Ultimate Collector Series set that would make you buy it? Hope you and the family are doing well. That is a really good question. What's really cool, Mac, I've never known what to do with that A-Wing. It's just kind of sat in a closet, and lately it's been sitting on my desk. But I bought a wall mount for it, and I'm going to mount it on my wall in my office. You know, it looks cool. I don't know, something different. So, yeah, I have a guy at my station who built I think, was it an Ultimate Collect, like that most expensive DeLorean Lego set? Like a month ago or so, he built the Lego set right at the fire station, and it put up like a burning desire in my chest to want to build more Lego, and so, you know, I don't even know what's out there, to tell you the truth. The only other ship that I would really, from Star Wars at least, that I would really want to build would be an X-Wing. Let me look this up. Is there an Ultimate Collector? Let's see. USC X-Wing. Oh, there is. Oh, cool, man. Lego Ultimate Collector Series. Actually, maybe there's not. Let me see. Lego X-Wing. There is. Nice. I don't know, man. Golly. Yeah, the only other ship that I'd really want to build is that X-Wing. Oh, the X-Wing just released, Mac. Okay. $240 temporarily out of stock. Yeah, to tell you the truth, that's really the only other Star Wars Lego set that I would want to get. Now, the one Lego set, well, there's two, but I will say the one Lego set that I've always wanted to get was the Saturn V rocket. I don't think it's available anymore. Like last year, it was available for a few months before it sold out, from what I remember. But it's a giant, it's the rocket that got us to the moon. Big behemoth of a rocket. And they released a Saturn V Lego set. And I should have picked it up. It was like $120. I'm going to have to wait until it re-releases at some point. But yeah, on Etsy, people make some really cool like wall mounts for the Saturn V, where you can separate it into different stages, just like that it did in real life. So yeah, if I was to buy another Lego set, it would be the Saturn V. I don't know if I'd do another Star Wars one. I mean, maybe in the distant future. But I got my A-Wing. I'm fine with that. I'm going to mount it on the wall. It's going to look cool. But the Saturn V is really the set that I really do want, you know. Other than that, man, I don't really know what... Other than that, I don't know what Star Wars ship they could put out. USC. or UCS rather, that I would want to get. I don't even know what there is. Is there like the shuttle? Let me see. Lego Star Wars shuttle. Imperial shuttle. There is. Well, it's not. It's not UCS. Maybe there is a version. Oh wait, is this one? Yeah. Golly, I don't know. I don't know, Mac. Yeah. Everything that I would want has already been released. It's just I can't spend the money. Oh, nice. Your buddy from work has a Saturn V? Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Anyway, I appreciate that, Mac. Mr. St. Jake, I know you're not here anymore. But Mr. St. Jake, thank you so much for the generous super chat and channel support this evening. Mr. Jake says, beer and inside Star Wars fun. Cheers. I appreciate that, man. With Mother's Day coming up, we got some beach plans. We're going to have a fun day at the beach and then go to one of our favorite restaurants called Sunset Grill. And we're going to go to a brewery and, you know, a fun day in the sun. So that will directly go to a little Mother's Day beer fund, because me and my wife like to drink our craft beers. And cheers, man. I appreciate the hell out of that. Hope you are doing well. Alex Dunn, thank you so much for the channel support as well. Alex says, hey Greedo, MEPS date got pushed back because the doctor wouldn't be there, lol. New date is the 22nd and 23rd. Ah, the 23rd is my birthday. Excited to finally get it over with. Oh, one sec, my daughter's moving around. I might have to go fix her. She's got a, there we go. She's back in bed. She has a tendency to fall out of bed lately, so we kind of like watch her like a hawk on this monitor. But she's all right. Yeah, I feel ya. It's a long waiting game. The whole joke in the military is hurry up and wait. And even in MEPS, that's true. Even in MEPS, that's true. So for those who aren't familiar, MEPS is where you go to, it's, how do I describe it? It's basically, so like you sign up to join the military. Well, you go to MEPS, you sign up to join the military, you pick your job, you get your physical, you take your ASVAB test to figure out what you score, what jobs you can take. It's basically like where you go after you talk to your recruiter to figure out what you're going to do, how, you know, your contract gets written up and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, it's a long waiting game, Alex, and it sucks. Like, that's the worst part about it all. Once you sign that contract, if you're still gung-ho about it, once you sign that contract, there is, for me at least, there was a relief. You know, I had been thinking about it for so long, and once you sign your contract and you have your ship out date, you have your MOS or your rate, as the Navy calls it. Then you just kind of wait. You just kind of wait for your ship out date. You know what I did? From the time I went to MEPS to the time my ship out date, which wasn't long at all. It was like 3 weeks, I feel like. I was supposed to, so I went to boot camp in August. I believe I signed my contract in July. I was supposed to go to boot camp in December, but my recruiter called me and said, "Hey, we have an opening. If you want to go to boot camp early, you can." And I said, "Yep." So for like 3 weeks, I just lived with my parents. I had a baby pool in the backyard, and I just filled that thing up, and I drank beer in the baby pool for like 3 weeks. And then I went to boot camp. That was my life in the year of 2007. So yeah, man. Yeah, it sucks waiting around. It'll eventually happen. I'm excited for you. You know, make the best of it. You'll be nervous. You'll miss home. It'll be nerve-wracking. You'll think constantly, what the hell did I get myself into? But, you know, once you get out into, I don't know, you know, they call it the fleet in the Navy. Once you get out of boot camp and you get into the fleet, I don't know what the Army equivalent what you would say. But once you're out there in the quote-unquote real world, things get so much easier. Things get, you know, at a certain point it feels like, it almost feels like just any other job, you know, after you've been there for a while, once the nerves get shaken off. But yeah, enjoy your time as much as you can right now. You know, just, yeah, once you sign the contract, you'll, like I said, I felt a sweet relief. It's all done. The next 4 years are plotted out for me. And at that time, I needed that. You know, at that time, I dropped out of 2 colleges. I was 21. I had no idea I had no idea what the hell I wanted to do. I saw all my friends were like deep into college, about to graduate college. And I was like, what the hell is wrong with me where I can't like commit? I can't stick to something. And I just went to the recruiter one morning and I said, I'm ready. I need it. I'm done. You know, I have to sign up. I have to do it. And boom, it was done. So for me, it was, you know, there is a sense of like pride and patriotism and blah, 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 blah that comes with it. But for me, it was more personal. It was like, I need this for me, you know. But anyway, Alex, keep me updated. Cheers, man. Best of luck to you. And let me know when you got that ship out date. We'll have a big party on here. How about that? But I appreciate that, man. And Benjamin B, thank you so much. And Alex Dunn once again. Benjamin B says, 9 sucks, but its water fight is great. Mirrors the Mustafar fight. Anakin dies in lava and Vader is born. Kylo dies in water and Ben is reborn. Yeah, that's one of the aspects of The Rise of Skywalker that I did like. I'm with you. It's one of my least favorite Star Wars movies. You know, 90% of it I don't care about. But the one thing that kind of held it together for me and that I really did enjoy was the relationship between Rey and Kylo. I did like the arc of Kylo's character. I guess I never really thought about the mirroring of like Anakin and Mustafar and Kylo and the water and all that shit. Yeah, it's like poetry it rhymes, Will. What's up, man? Yeah, like I said earlier, you know, as much as I dislike that movie, And it's fine to dislike Star Wars stuff. You know, you're not going to like everything that comes out. Once you realize that, you begin to have a healthy relationship with this shit. Unless you're a YouTuber and you want to bitch and moan about every single thing and you get money from it. But for me, that's not healthy. But yeah, even something like episode 9, I don't like it. I don't like it. But there's things that I like about it. Even in a thing that you consider a turd, there's things that you think are gems, you know, diamonds. And the relationship between Rey and Kylo is one of those things that I think is great, you know. But yeah, anyway, I appreciate that, Ben. Holy shit, it's 12:30.
Lisa got to go. You also say people gonna die?
Alex Dunn, thank you so much for coming in with the final super chat and channel support of the stream. Alex says, I definitely was able to get past all the restrictions my parents gave me on the internet, LOL. Yeah, that's funny. Yeah, me too. But what, you know, I want to say the first time we had internet access, it was definitely like the mid 90s. I think I was like 8 years old or so. It might have been 94, 95. I'd have to ask my parents and see if they remember. I grew up with it. It was kind of neat because I saw the birth of this thing, you know. But I remember one time when I was probably 10 years old getting caught looking at some things that a 10-year-old, you know, whatever perspective you maybe shouldn't have been looking at, right? And you know, I had a little talking to it. My parents were never strict. But that was a learning experience. I did this wrong. Well, now I know what to do. It's not going to stop me from doing this. I'm just going to get smarter as I twirl my 10-year-old mustache. Yeah, absolutely. But what's cool is like, so I had my family's PC. I want to say I was like 7 or 8 when we got it. Our first computer in the mid 90s, early 90s, mid 90s. And from then on, I had my own computer. Like my dad would build me my own PC. I'm trying to think like the first time I ever got my own PC. I was probably 12 or 13, and my dad built my own computer because he's always been into that stuff. He's always been into building computers, and yeah, I've always had one in, you know, growing up, I always had one in my own room. And, you know, played Counter-Strike constantly, made my own Counter-Strike maps, played MMOs out the ass, had late nights on, at the time, I guess ICQ or Ventrilo or what else was around back then? Wasn't there a TeamSpeak? Is that what it was called? TeamSpeak? I don't remember. But yeah, I mean, like, as a parent, you're consciously aware of what's on this bag of assholes called the internet, right? But at the same time, I don't want to shield my kid from the internet, you know, because it's, I mean, despite it being around for a while, it's the future. It's, you know, if we shield, this is just personal parenting stuff. It's a philosophical discussion. I'm sure 1,000 billion people would disagree with me. But I'm pretty laid back with stuff. Now, as my kid gets older, will that change? Maybe, you know, who knows? But, you know, at the moment, like sometimes my daughter, we don't censor ourselves. Me and my wife don't censor ourselves around our kid. So she hears, you know, quote unquote bad words, and she'll be like, "Dad, don't say shit," and I'll just start laughing. And then I'll look at her and I'll be like, "Why are bad words bad?" And she'll be like, "I don't know." I'll be like, "Yeah, me neither. I don't know why either." Like, I don't know. It's funny, man. No, my dad wasn't a software or hardware engineer, Jim. My dad worked in a warehouse, in a General Motors warehouse, for 36 years. That he worked a union job at GM for 36 years in a warehouse, but one of his passions, and still to this day, like he's he's 72 years old and he's still technologically, I mean, he's better at building PCs than me. He's still technologically like with it, and he just bought a Canon 70D. He's a big photographer. Still really into computers. Like sometimes I'll go to him for PC suggestions and stuff like that, you know. He's so I'm software guy, he's hardware guy. Like if I have a question about hardware or something like that, I go to him. If he has a question about software, he goes to me, you know. But anyway. Oh man, it's past 12:30. This is a late night stream. I like it, man. So, I'm hoping to get a video up tomorrow about the Caravan of Courage. Other than that, hopefully I'll be able to get Survivor starting soon on my computer. I'm going to do another stream tomorrow night, but normal time, like 7:30 p.m. Eastern time. Yeah. Anyway, all right. I'm not tired, but I should probably go downstairs. Let's see. Yeah, stream tomorrow night around 7:30 p.m. Eastern time. Hoping to get a video up tomorrow. I shouldn't have an issue. So yeah. I'm going to go grab my Kindle from my work bag and read a chapter and crash. But all right, everybody. Thanks for hanging out with me, man. This was fun. Yeah. To everybody who super chatted this evening, thank you so much. The channel survives because of that support. To everybody who shot the shit in the chat, thanks for hanging out. All right, everybody. Enjoy the rest of your morning, your afternoon, your evening, wherever you are on planet Earth. And I will catch you all on the flip side. See ya.